Dennis Getter.
Here.
Marifrances Bolger.
Absent excused.
Caleb Greene.
Absent excused.
And Brendan Kelley.
Should be coming soon.
Okay.
Mark Dillon.
Mark Dillon, yes. Present. All right. Next item on the agenda is read the mission and vision. So I'll go ahead and do that. The mission of Ascent Classical Academies to train the minds and improve the hearts of young people through a classical, content-rich education in the liberal arts and sciences, with the instruction in the principles of moral character, civic virtue, in an orderly and disciplined environment. The vision statement is Ascent Classical Academies develop the moral and intellectual skills, habits, and virtues upon which independent, responsible, and joyful lives are built, in the firm belief that such lives are the basis for a free and flourishing republic. I don't know if I see we have a flag present there. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'm going to step out of the picture because I have a flag in the room so I can face my flag. But I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your hand over your heart, please, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item is agenda. So a motion to adopt the agenda as is.
So moved, Dennis Getter.
Thanks, Dennis.
Second, Michael Murphy.
Okay. Thanks, Michael.
And Brendan Kelley is in the meeting now.
Welcome, Brendan. Good to have you on board. Okay, so let's go do a quick roll call on the motion to adopt as is. Mark Shuler.
Yes.
Michael Murphy.
Yes.
Dennis Getter.
Yes.
Brendan Kelley.
Yes.
Mark Dillon. Yes. Derec Shuler.
Here, but I'm not. I'm an ex officio.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, the motion is adopted. We had a request also from Mr. Sinclair from our authorizer to address the board. So as a chair privilege, I'd like to provide this time for our authorizer, Mr. Sinclair, to take a couple minutes to address the Ascent Classical Academy of South Carolina board. Sir, are you there?
Hoping trying to find him here.
Okay.
There we go. Mr. Claire, you should be able to speak.
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Loud and clear. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Dillon, I appreciate that. Board members, I appreciate the chance to just introduce myself. I haven't had that opportunity in the past and just am thankful to have that chance now. Just to give you a little bit of my background, I serve as one of two superintendents of schools at the Charter Institute at Erskine. So with 28 schools in the Institute, we want to make sure we're providing very personalized support for our schools, just like we want our schools to be able to do for our students. So we try to mimic that in our interactions with the schools. I've been in education over 30 years. 4 of those was a principal of a Title I middle school in Greenville County. And then 16 years, I was the founding principal of Brazier Middle College Charter High School in Greenville County. And that began in 2006. And while I was there, I was fortunate enough to earn the Milk and Educator Award given by our then State Superintendent, Dr. Mick Zase, on behalf of the Milken Foundation. My last year there, our school was named a Blue Ribbon School of Excellence by the U.S. Department of Education. My passion really lies in building strong, successful charter schools. I've been doing that for the last 20 years. And it just is, I think it's just the work that many of us, including yourselves, are called to do in South Carolina, that if we want to really impact a generation of students and transform the direction of our state, we have to do it through school choice. Parents deserve quality choice in the state of South Carolina. I rarely really get into that background, and only add it today as emphasis that, the work that we do in charter schools is difficult work. I entered this before there was even state authorizers. Planning and implementation grants were brand new. We were still trying to figure that out as a state. Quite frankly, our main goals at that time was just trying to get legislators and the public to know what a charter school really was. I really have faith in this group, this board, the Ascent Classical, to rise as an example of what's right in South Carolina education. We, as an organization, have many classical models, look a little different in different places, but we really value the American values, the focus on core learning, the emphasis on really that human development that we see in your school. Really, to make that happen, though, we really have to forge a relationship of open communication with you, the board of directors, and the institute. It's a difficult task to open any brand new school with all of the requirements and new systems, all of the resources that you need to put together. I've done that. I've helped other schools do that. I know what that feels like, especially when it's your first school in South Carolina. We're a unique state, and there are little nuances here and there that we really enjoy working with schools to navigate. So that relationship is key. So the Institute really wants to work to assist in the growth of this school and in other campuses as you're trying to work to spread around the state. We don't want to just be the compliance agency. We want to be able to provide that integral support pieces. And we've had success working with a lot of other boards to provide workshop style meetings, retreats focused on specific needs for each school, where the board actually requests those supports and you tell us what you would like to learn more about, and we can really design that around what you need. And in one example, the State Department has their required board training. It's in statute. The State Department is the one that provides it, but they are going to have that at our office on November the 12th. I shared that information with Mr. Dillon, so he has that. He can share that out with you. We would love for all of you, but certainly as many as possible, to join us on the 12th in our office. That'll meet the State Department's training requirements, and also gives you a chance to see our office, visit with our staff here, updates and ways we can support you on that. So I really appreciate this opportunity, Mr. Dillon, to address you and the board, and look forward to that partnership as we try to continue to grow those details that make Ascent Classical special and will help you rise to be one of the leaders, especially in classical education in the state of South Carolina. So we do appreciate it and look forward to a great relationship. Thank you.
On behalf of the Ascent Classical Academy South Carolina Board, I want to say thank you, Mr. Sinclair. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and day. Appreciate your over 3 decades of service and towards this noteworthy goal. I think we all, as you alluded to, share your passion, your persistence, and we certainly appreciate your patience working with us and this board, and we look forward to a long-term partnership. And thanks again for the notification about the training event on the November 12th. Really appreciate that. Thanks, sir. Next item on the consent. Next item is the consent agenda. So, is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda for both approving the September 15th as well as the September 25th meeting minutes?
So move, Michael Murphy.
I second it,
Michael.
Mark Shuler.
Thank you, Mr. Shuler. All right. Let's go around and take a quick vote on the motion. Mr. Shuler, Mark Shuler,
Yes.
Michael Murphy,
Yes.
Dennis Getter,
Yes.
Brandon Kelley,
Yes.
and Mark Dillon, yes. Okay. Next item on the agenda is we have some business to do in executive session. So the board may enter executive session as allows under South Carolina Code 30-4-70 A2 to discuss contract negotiations and receive legal advice. So motion to go into executive session at this time.
Dennis Getter, so moved.
Michael Murphy, second.
Okay. Mark Shuler,
Yes.
Michael Murphy,
Yes.
Dennis Getter,
Yes.
Brandon Kelley,
Yes.
and Mark Dillon. Okay, motion so approved. We're going to transition to an executive session at this time. We have a separate link to do that, but we will come back to this link upon coming out of executive session. We still have some action items to accomplish from the coming out of executive session in accordance with the agenda.
We have, let's see the announcement we have here.
All right, we have Dennis Getter, Mark Shuler, I'm Michael Murphy. Derec Shuler is with us as well.
We have
Kelley.
Kelley and Caleb Greene also in via Zoom.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, you are muted if you're trying to speak.
Thanks for doing my roll call for me. Thanks for the assist. Yes, okay, back in open session. So we're back to item 4 on the agenda, on today's agenda. First and foremost, talks about action items from executive session. Assure the public there were no votes or no actions taken in executive session. We do have a couple of agenda items to address for action items that are coming out of executive session. So Mark Shuler has tendered his resignation. So in light of this, I need to move to add an agenda item to item 4, which is to accomplish, we need a 2/3 vote by the board to nominate 3 current appointees for election position.
Well, real quick, Mr. Dillon, the first vote is to add agenda item 4A
Okay,
to determine nominations for in elected seats.
okay.
And Mr. Chair, if it's helpful, I will move to add agenda item 4A to introduce a slate of candidates for the elected seats on the board.
I'll second the motion. Thanks, Brendan. Okay, Mark Shuler,
Yes.
Michael Murphy.
Point of order. I'd like to name the,
Well, we need to add the agenda item
Oh,
first.
this is
and
the
then we'll-
adding
agenda.
the agenda. This is
Okay.
amending the agenda.
okay, I
Thanks for the
forgot
round.
my point of order.
Yes, sir. Disregarded. All right, let me start again. Mark Shuler,
Yes.
Michael Murphy,
Yes.
Dennis Getter,
Yes.
Caleb Greene,
Yes.
Brendan Kelley,
Yes.
and Mark Dillon. Yes. So the motion is approved to nominate a slate of appointees for upcoming election.
We added the agenda item.
That is
Just
the agenda
just
item.
point of order, we've added an agenda item. Now we need to discuss the slate.
Yes. So I would like to propose a motion that the slate includes 3 current appointees to present those for election. And those would be Caleb Greene, Brendan Kelley, and Marifrances Bolger.
For 2 open seats.
For 2 open seats. So nominate 3 candidates for 2 open elected position seats. Those would be the nominees, and the election body would elect 2, vote for 2.
And that's also to direct Ascent to conduct the election.
And the motion includes directing Ascent to conduct the election. There's a lot in there. You want me to repeat it?
Yes.
Please.
So the motion is to, by 2/3 vote or more, nominate 3 appointees.
Majority.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. This will be a simple majority, this vote.
Simple majority, okay. So by nominee, motion to nominate by simple majority, 3 appointees, Caleb Greene, Brendan Kelley, Marifrances Bolger, for 2 elected positions, and the elector electorate be directed to vote for 2, and also direct Ascent to conduct that election.
Second.
I move we accept that, the motion.
Second.
He seconded.
Okay, and you seconded it.
Seconded. Second.
Right, for the vote, Mark Shuler,
Yes.
Michael Murphy,
Yes.
Dennis Getter,
Yes.
Caleb Greene,
Yes.
Brendan Kelley,
Yes.
and Mark Dillon. Yes. So the motion passes unanimously. Okay, next item on the agenda is item 5, executive director update. Turn it over to you, Mr. Executive Director.
Yep. Thanks, Mr. Chair. We just have a number of updates. Just want to make sure that we have a conversation with the board about the first item here. I think you guys are aware that yesterday we did part ways with Ms. Belcher and Mr. Mullins on the Fort Mill campus. Kind of along with that, we sent an announcement out to parents and our staff as well. And along with that, again, we've had a number of open staff positions throughout the year, but we also announced a plan on how we're filling those staff vacancies starting on Tuesday. So I just want to just make that formally known to the board. Today was a staff professional development day that we were talking with the staff. We discussed the transition with them. I think there was just a very good conversation with the staff. We had probably 2 or 3 hours of talks. We had a couple of board members participating as well. But I think there was just a very positive energy among the staff about moving forward. We just discussed a lot of information, just misinformation or lack of communication, the things that they have heard that isn't what we have heard, and how we are all committed just to improving either relationships and the trust between the teams, inside and outside the school. So again, there was just a really good sense of moving forward. I think with that, we talked about the open positions that have been on campus. The current staff has really been taxed, having to give up planning periods to step in for some of the open positions that have been open for a while. So again, we did present a plan on how those are going to be filled, and that's going to give our staff more time to focus on their own classes, have their planning periods and free time back, and really just give them time to focus on their own subjects. We discussed professional development needs and requirements. I think the acting headmaster, the interim headmaster, Ms. Jennifer Magnitz, had a really good conversation with staff. We discussed resources that they need to be successful, and everybody said they have what they need, and they're just looking forward to just being in a school with more communication. I think what was really important from our perspective in our conversation today, I think the board, and we have heard from a lot of parents. They have expressed concerns about a variety of issues. We just discussed all of them, and I think what we've heard from parents about the school culture, the staff was very clear that that is not reflected in their classrooms, and that they really want to just focus on good teaching. They feel they have a lot of support, and that was just really telling coming out of the meeting today, that just the things that the board and we've been hearing from parents is not the experience that teachers are having on campus. I think just there were just some concerns from the staff that they're well aware of what parents are saying about the school. There was just a public event recently, and they came to us concerned that parents have just been talking very negatively about things, and they really want stability, and they really appreciate support and calm, just to help them focus on what's going in the classrooms and not distracting from what they're doing and what they want to be doing. But again, I think the new leadership, Ms. Holzer, Ms. Magnet, were just focused on, we are here to support you. And I think we left the day on a very positive note with them, especially moving into Tuesday. So kind of another thing we just want to make sure, just to talk about, we also talked about this with the staff about the role of the board. Again, this board right here is the board of a network with campuses across the state. We talked about how this board is different than an independent charter school or even a private school, where you might have a board that's very involved in the day-to-day operations of a school It might pick out the paint colors in the hallway, chicken nuggets on the menu. And we just talked about, this is a board focused on governance. We talked about the governance model where the board adopts policy, adopts high-level budgets, and then the fiduciary responsibility of the board throughout the year is to really make sure that we're operating within those parameters that kids are learning, that policy is being adhered to, and that we are accounting for all the money, the taxpayer dollars of the organization. So, we just emphasize that the board is not the go-to. 99% of any school problem is handled through the headmaster. It's handled through the grievance process, going through the headmaster. The headmaster has access into the home office staff, and that really when things in the grievance process get to the home office or even to the board, it's really matters of policy. And it's just really not things that are going on in classrooms. But so we talk about that with at least with the staff, just to make sure they understand. I think they just express concerns that parents not coming to them and talking about issues, not going to the campus, but just going around the board and talking among themselves without giving them and the school an opportunity to make improvements that that may need to be made. And the last thing, I think pretty much most board members here have heard from parents directly, over the past month. I think just want to reiterate, the board has adopted grievance policy, and that is found in the family handbook that is posted online on each campus's website. And again, the grievance process is really, if there is a problem and a parent wants to get it solved, the grievance process is how it gets done. I think when the board hears about problems, because of the board commitments, the board members do not get involved and are really not able to address an issue that comes straight to them outside of the grievance process, and really just sends it back to me and back to the school. So we've, just going to do a better job communicating that process to families. Again, just to reiterate here for the board, the current policy is that issues need to be handled at the lowest level possible. If a parent has a concern, they need to go to the teacher, whoever the issue is with. If they're not able to get satisfaction with the teacher, and depending on the issue, they would go to the dean or the headmaster. And again, 98% of any issue in the school can be resolved at that level. In the extraordinary events that there is an issue that can't be resolved at that level, we have a grievance form on our website for the campus, and parents can complete a grievance via that process. That level of grievance would come to me and my staff, and we're able to look at it and talk to school faculty, look at the policies, and just really do an investigation as well. And then just make a determination. With that, the next step in that process is to go to the board. And when we send a finding to a parent, if they're still not content and if they think that there is a policy violation, then we give them the avenue to go to the board. At that step, the board chair has the authority to look at the grievance. The board chair can unilaterally say, this is not something that's suitable for the board. We're going to uphold where the grievance was last handled, whether it's the home office level. The board chair can also select two board members, which will not be a quorum, to consider the grievance, do an investigation, and render an opinion on the grievance, or can refer the matter to the entire board for a board conversation as a whole. So that is the board process. I think we do have the end of the process is even going through that all those steps, if a parent grievance still isn't able to be resolved to the satisfaction of the parents, at that point, there needs to be a conversation of this being the best fit for the family. I think we are committed to partnering with families, giving a fair process. We are all dedicated and focused on providing a great high quality education to any child in the school, and just a good partnership with families. So with that, those are kind of the four things I wanted to update the board on. Be glad if you guys have any questions or comments. Like, we had a couple board members here for the staff PD. If you guys had any observations, or we'd love to just hear anything from you or any feedback.
And I was surprised at how positive the feedback was from the staff. I was expecting there to be a lot of questions, and there were questions, but in general, they were positive. They wanted to just do their job, and not have all the drama around what's going on. So, I think that we cleared the air today. They agreed that we needed to do a reset, and that this is probably a process that they would like to have periodically, where Ascent comes in and just have a conversation and listen to what they've got going on and what they're thinking, and to be able to offer ideas. So I think that was a very positive outcome from today.
Based on that positive outcome, I think everybody's looking forward to hitting the street with a good Tuesday coming and having school like normal. And I think everybody's up for the task. They're all extremely excited. And so I think the organizational changes that were taking place were necessary. And the other commitment is obviously parents are concerned about the goals that the school sets and whether we're making our goals that we have committed to. And I think we're recommitting as a board to having those goals published and making sure that, in addition to like budget numbers, which we look at every meeting practically, I think we're going to have a focus of goals and the important numbers that parents are concerned about with the school. And we'll have those for discussion as on the board also, to make sure that the school is making the progress that we promised.
Yeah, this is Michael Murphy, and I had the privilege of being here today as well. And my heart really went out to the faculty members for some of the stress and anxiety they've been dealing with the last few days and weeks, with questions and they've been asked, and comments they've been given that they don't really know how to answer or how to address, given the things that have been going on. And I just commended them for their good attitude and their good work, dealing with having to give up planning periods and add all these extra responsibilities. They're still doing a very good job. And just last night I was in Greenville and was talking to a couple of families, and those families had heard good things about the Rock Hill campus. So even in Greenville, there's the positive reputation of this school, this campus here in Fort Mill has reached that far. So I wanted to encourage them with that.
Thanks, Mr. Shuler, for the executive director update, and Mark, Dennis, and Michael, thanks for your comments. I was getting Brendan or Caleb, did you have any other comments or questions you had for the group or for Mr. Shuler?
Not at this time.
No, for me as well.
Okay. Really appreciate that. Mark, Dennis, and Michael, y'all being there today. Thank you for that. And thanks, Derek, Mr. Shuler, for the update. The next item on the agenda is item 6, public comment. And we've had over 20 members sign up. So we certainly appreciate the enthusiasm and the spirit of the signees for signing up. So as we get ready to transition over to public comment, I just respectfully request that each member, when you're making your comment, again, it's not a conversation with the board, but also I respectfully request you limit your comments to 2 minutes, just because, again, of the length of the number of signups that we have today. And so with that, I'll turn it over for public comment.
Yeah. So we'll go through the public comment list in order here. If I call your name on Zoom, it does have the option to raise your hand. So if I call your name, can you raise your hand so we can find you and enable your audio? First of all, we have Laura Waldrop.
Hello.
All right, Ms. Waldrop, it looks like
Hello.
you are enabled.
Hear me?
You have the floor.
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Laura Waldrop. I have 2 children enrolled in 9th grade. After 9 years of homeschooling, we heard about Ascent Classical Academy coming to Fort Mill and decided to give it a try. This decision was not easy for our family. We homeschool because we wanted to instill a love of learning in our children, a strong Christian worldview, and the ability to think critically about the changing world around them. Having experienced the inefficiencies and stifling of the love of learning in the public school system myself, I was resolved to avoid this method of education for my own children. I made an exception for Ascent because the mission statement, the promises for exceptional rigorous instruction, and the good character of some of the early staff and interested families relieved my concerns about the public school environment. What Ascent was promising seemed worth pursuing. The entire first year of Ascent had me worried I had made a terrible mistake with my children's education. Standards of curriculum were lax compared to what had been promised. We pushed through and decided to try a second year because we had talked to Mr. Mullins, and I appreciated his plans for building an amazing team of teachers who loved the disciplines they taught, who exemplified the virtues of a classical education. August and September of this current school year did not disappoint. Mr. Mullins built a wonderful team of knowledgeable and hardworking upper school teachers. I was proud to have my children under their care and excited for where the school was going. And then it became clear that the network has been either incompetent or malicious in their dealings with our location. Funding promises fell through. Teacher aides and supports were not hired. Mrs. Mognet was brought into the administration team with open litigation and serious allegations hanging over her head. And most recently, an unqualified young woman who was happy to display inappropriate photos of herself on social media is brought into an authority position over my 15-year-old son and my 13-year-old daughter. Gentlemen of the board, do you guys watch the news? Eliminating the few staff members
Ms.
I
Bolger,
trusted.
that's 2 minutes.
Turn it around.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Next up, we have Desiree Jenkins. Ms. Jenkins, if you can identify yourself, we appreciate it. Ms. Jenkins, you're enabled.
Thank you. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, I just have some concerns with the staffing issues that we've experienced in this year and last year. I have a 7th grade son who had a great year last year, and the staffing issues did not directly affect us, but this year they have, and it seems like a repeat almost to the week. Last year in October 25th, Dr. Condra was let go or left. I don't know the dynamics of what happened. And now here we are again in October, having lost another headmaster and a number of teachers, including 4 of my son's 7 teachers. So we have a lot of concerns. I sent an email to the Mr. Mullins last week, never heard a response. So I am attempting to go through the grievance process, but it's proving incredibly difficult. So I just wanted to hop on here and raise those concerns and communicate that we're doing our best to follow the listed out process, but the chaos, the seemingly chaos is making it incredibly difficult to have any confidence in Ascent Classical Academy, which is incredibly disappointing. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ms. Jenkins. Our next public comment is Rita Hullen. Ms. Hullen, you should be enabled when you're ready.
Okay, I'd like to make it a point that on the agenda, it says we have 3 minutes. All of the parents planning to speak are happy to stay on. Our children were accepted to Ascent during the first year, but we weren't comfortable with the variables, so we waited. I attended outreach events, I followed along in the background, and I was glad that we sat out that first year. The only reason why we came on board is due to the founding parents' feedback of Mr. Mullins and after meeting and speaking with Mr. Mullins. We signed on, but this is like a train crash that's both in fast and slow motion. It's ridiculous. I've learned that the leadership of the Ascent CMO is mired in controversy, kicked off Colorado boards, schools disassociating from the CMO, allegations of misconduct and mistreatment. People on this board are now replacing the only glue that has been retaining families and has the chance of a successful school year, which is Mr. Mullins. He's being replaced with an interim leadership team and new teachers that are connected with another charter school that has serious allegations of misconduct and mismanagement. The transition Q&A document sent last night advises parents not to look too deeply at these allegations. They have nothing to do with our location. The common denominator is the CMO run by Derec and Mark Shuler. It's the constant behind these problems. It's not the first-year headmaster or all the first-year teachers. It's not the teachers that were fired or quit this year. It's the constant is the CMO. I implore this board to take action to learn from the Colorado schools and disassociate with the CMO and remove them from this board and day-to-day operations. Reinstate Mr. Mullins, which will certainly bring back the high-quality teachers we've lost, and you can right this sinking ship. Our children are the most valuable assets we have, and actions or inactions have consequences and meaning. The whole is always greater than the sum of its parts. Finally, I'll leave you with a quote from Dwight D. Eisenhower. The supreme quality for leadership is unquestionable integrity. Without it, no real success is possible. Unquestionable integrity. I would invite you all to come out at 6 p.m. on Tuesday with Ms. Magnette and Ms. Shuler to hear from the parents.
Next, we'll go to Megan Stroud.
Can you hear me okay?
Hey, Ms. Stroud, go ahead.
Board members, I come before you today out of deep concern. 1 year ago, October 2024, Ascent was in crisis. Teachers left in large numbers. The headmaster was dismissed just 3 months into the school year. Those who stayed placed their faith in the new headmaster and bought into the vision that he shared. That trust and the commitment of on-site administrators and teachers got us through that really hard year. Now here we are again in October 2025, facing eerily similar circumstances. Instability has once again taken root. The only constants, this board and the charter management organization. This is no longer an unfortunate coincidence. It is a pattern that demands accountability. This board has a duty to exercise reasonable care to ensure the academic, operational, and financial viability of this school. Your own charter application promises that the board oversees the mission, ensuring systems, personnel, and resources create an environment for scholarly learning. That environment is fractured. Reoccurring staff turnover, plummeting morale, and ongoing disruptions to our children's education, now in their second year, threatens the very foundation of our school community. These issues, driven by patterns of ineffective management, risk causing irreparable harm to Ascent's reputation and enrollment. As Ascent's governing board, you have both the authority and the responsibility to take meaningful action, and I urge you to do what is right for this community. Hold the CMO accountable for the operation instability and terminate their contract. Reinstate Mr. Mullins, a respected leader who has earned the trust of our community. Do not let this school continue down a path of repeated crisis. We ask you to lead with accountability, transparency, and courage. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to Mr. Josh Chrisman. Mr. Chrisman, if you could raise your hand on Zoom, please. Great, Mr. Chrisman, you should be good to speak. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you.
Good afternoon. My name is Josh Chrisman. I have 2 children currently enrolled at Ascent Classical. Over the last year, we have been sold short on the promises made for the school. We have now exhausted 2 headmasters, an assistant headmaster, an entire teaching staff. Some grade levels are going on their 3rd teacher. This issue is glaring right at the CMO, ACA. At this exact point in last school year, we experienced a mass exodus of staff after a visit from Derec Shuler. Mr. Mullins was brought in to right the ship. He settled nerves and ensured things would improve. In most ways, they did. We endured a less than optimal teacher and decided to return because we believed in Mr. Mullins. The hires that have been made with the teaching staff have been exceptional. Here we are at another crossroad after another visit from Derec Shuler. Based on conversations and meetings with Mr. Mullins, it appears he was operating with his hands tied behind his back. It is in my opinion that Mr. Shuler handcuffed Mr. Mullins and restricted the goals that he outlined for the school. Further, we are in year 2 of a temporary location with no roadmap or clear action plan of obtaining a permanent location. This campus feels neglected. ACA seems to have ambitions that far exceed reality. A school that has not had a single student walk through its doors now has a permanent location, and he wonders why enrollment numbers haven't hit their target. This also factors into the confidence of the school via word of mouth. Further, installing Ms. Magna as interim headmaster is a slap in the face to every parent with students enrolled. It brings Mr. Shuler's judgment and integrity into question. The allegations made against her in a federal lawsuit are quite concerning. I feel it is inappropriate for her to be an interim headmaster, much less employed by ACA. These are our children, not your pawns in your sick, get-rich-quick scheme. Thank you.
Yeah, next, Ms. Neely. Yeah. Lindsay Neely. Hi, Ms. Neely.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hi, I have 3 students, ages 1st grade, 3rd grade, and 6th grade. We did start last year, and it seems like fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you. Patterns and actions speak much louder than words, and I have incredible issues when one wants to preach prudence, integrity, and respect, yet their patterns fall very short of that. I have text message and things with Miss Teresa Shuler, and I'm still waiting a call back from her. I know that parents are not happy. It's basically like Groundhog's Day all over again from last year. I find your question and answer page from the dismissal of Mr. Mullins and Miss Belcher extremely condescending. It's preemptive defense, and it's very much gaslighting. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Divya. You can please raise your hand. Last call again for Divya. We're glad to come back around. Next, we have Miss Elizabeth Knight. Miss Knight.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Knight. I'm the mother of 3 students at Ascent Classical Academy of Fort Mill. This is our 2nd year at the school, and we've been at the school since it started. At the school, we've witnessed how rough it was last year and how much it improved this year with the teachers Mr. Mullins hired. We are now watching those teachers choose to leave. I emphatically request that the members of the school board reach out to these teachers and ask them why they are leaving without the Shulers present. Do not simply stop at what Ascent Classical Academies or Derec Shuler tells you is the reason. Page 58 of the application for the Fort Mill School to the CIE reads, the board will provide oversight and management of the management partner, ACA, and ensure the organization is serving the needs and expectations of the school. This school board is not accountable to Derec Shuler. Derec Shuler is accountable to the school board. Members of the board, how are you holding ACA and Derec Shuler accountable? Derec Shuler and the ACA are at the centers of the issue the school is experiencing. Trust me when I tell you, you will not have to look long or hard to see where the problems lie, but you do need to look for them for yourselves. I would like to note another thing from the charter application, that it states the teacher to student ratio will be 1 to 16 at most, accomplished with hiring teacher aides. We have 1 teacher aide shared across multiple classrooms. I'd also like to note that the grievance process is a joke and another way for Derec Shuler to hide behind process. As he made clear in his update today, he's using it to filter out parents he doesn't want to deal with. I would like to know why Jennifer Mognet, who was hired by Derec Shuler, and a person named in an open federal lawsuit with accusations of racial discrimination, lying about students, and failure to report suspected sexual abuse, is working at the same building as our students. Derek's answer about the lawsuit and the fact is misleading. Ms. Mognet is explicitly named in the lawsuit 55 times, and she is central to the complaints in the lawsuit. Please read the lawsuit. What will you do if the defendants are found guilty? It is interesting that an accusation in the lawsuit is that Jennifer Mognet acted in the interests of the CMO, not the school where she was the director. If that's true, it's easy to understand why Derec Shuler has pushed Mr. Mullins out and installed Jennifer Mognet. In closing, parents need the school board to look at the issues at the school on their own, and we are pleading with the board to take action. Please research for yourself what is going on and help us save our school.
Thank you, Ms. Knight. Our next is Sarah Kokoris. I hope I said that right. If you can raise your hand, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi there, yes.
Yes, my name is Sarah Kokoris. You said it fine. I have 2 students that are enrolled at Ascent. My daughter, who's in 9th grade of this year, started with you guys last year, and I was very encouraged to be blessed to be accepted at this school because I have been put down and failed by the public school system. And my daughter expressed her struggles with the teachers and the administration that was there last year, and I chalked it up to just the beginning of a new school being started. And I told her that we were just going to try to push through it and let it get ironed out. But then as this year has gone through, I was super blessed that we had Mr. Mullins that has been working over and beyond to make sure we have the proper teachers that have been fulfilling the vision that you have stated at the beginning of this meeting with all the promises that Ascent is supposed to uphold. I was completely blindsided yesterday when my son's teacher was let go and Mr. Mullins was let go. And I am appalled to find out now that there is more happening than I even know. And I think that that same thing is happening to the board here. And I would highly, highly suggest that we attempt to have a parent meeting with the board and get to the bottom of this, because if it's not resolved, I do not want my children to keep attending a school that would stand for such things when I could just go to the public school down the street and have the same things happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, Steve Trubiano. Mr. Trubiano, can you raise your hand, please? All right, we'll come back. Is Divya, I don't know if you had a chance to join us. We skipped her earlier. And if she's not on, we'll go to Alicia Sewell.
Hello, can you hear me?
So, yep, yes, go ahead, please.
My name is Alicia Sewell, and I am the parent of 3 children who attend Ascent Classical Academy. Our family has been part of the school community since its founding, and we are deeply invested in its success and its mission. There is much that could be said about the recent events at our school, but I would like to make a direct and respectful request to you, the governing board. I am asking that the board schedule an in-person meeting with parents and teachers within the next week. It is important that you hear directly from those who are with your children every day and are from the parents who work closely with them. I also ask that you reach out to the two excellent teachers who recently left, Ms. Gualteris and Ms. Taylor. They can provide valuable insight into the reasons behind their departures, which are not related to Mr. Mullins, but rather to issues stemming from the charter management organization. Additionally, I respectfully request that this meeting be held without representatives from the charter management organization so that an open and honest discussion can take place. We will ensure that the meeting remains respectful and organized in whatever forum you feel most comfortable with. To facilitate this, I'm willing to arrange a location at Hope Fellowship Gym and personally will cover any associated fees. To help schedule this, please reach out to me. My phone number is 803-431-6833. The parents of Ascent Classical Academy love the curriculum, the teachers, Mr. Mullins, and the community we have built. We are united in wanting what is best for our children and our school. I urge you to reflect on our school's guiding virtue. I will learn the true, I will do the good, and I will love the beautiful. We are asking for the opportunity to share the truth with you so that together we can do the good and keep our school beautiful. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next, Melissa Schillinglaw. Melissa Schillinglaw. We'll move on to the next one. Matthew Ivester. Mr. Ivester, if you're on, if you can raise your hand, please. All right, well, we'll move on to Sarah Gualteros. Ms. Gualteros. Ms. Gualteros, go ahead. Oh, Ms. Gualteros, are you able to hear us? You may be on mute. Can you hear us okay? Ms. Gualteros, you're unmuted on our end and showing muted on your end. Can you check that? Ms. Gualteros, let's go another opportunity here. We'll move on. We're glad to come back to you. You're still muted. Okay, we'll move on to the next and welcome to come back again here. Our next comment is Wendy Cottrell.
Hello?
Right.
Can you hear me?
Go
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Wendy Cottrell. I am a parent of 3 students who are very upset and so for the second time in 2 years, mostly same time of year, lost their headmaster and most of their teachers. The only common denominator is ACA. Board's obligation is to the children at the school and their education, not ACA. They are suffering due to ACA's incompetence. The board has the authority to terminate the contract with ACA, and I believe they should. ACA has overpromised and underdelivered in almost every area. If action does not start soon, there will be no school to manage. The board also has the authority to remove staff from the school, as noted in the Erskine application. We only have this document to reference. Bylaws and policies are not posted on the school's website. I ask you to please read the amended complaint against Charter 1, where Jennifer Magnet's name is mentioned 55 times, and tell me that you would be comfortable with your children or grandchildren under her authority. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Our next comment, Richard Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, you should be good here.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hello. Just
two quick points. One is um, my primary concern for our seventh grader who was there last year as a sixth grader is the continuity and continuing of educational curriculum through the remainder of the year so that they are able to pass state testing with regards to history, which has been very slow moving, and then science and math. These are going to be key foundational pieces moving into eighth grade. My other point and slash question, which may not get answered, but my point is in question is regarding board nominees for election. I know that I have applied to the board of directors. I did have a conversation yesterday there at the school, and I know that the application has been received. But my question is kind of centered around how many other applicants have been received and why have none of the applicants that applied to be on the board have been either selected or rejected to join the board for a slate in the upcoming election. That's really kind of my point. I'm not sure if all of the board members either have students in a school or are tied to a school, or if everyone is in South Carolina. So that's really my point. And hopefully maybe we'll get some answers back on that.
Thanks, Mr. Jenkins. Our next comment is Ashley Williams. Ms. Williams, you should be able to speak.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm the parent of 3 students at ACA. My husband and I were ecstatic last year to send our kids to a school with such beautiful curriculum and so much physical activity built into the day. We were with the school through the early transition of teachers and headmaster last year and chose to stay after meeting the second headmaster because his understanding of children and schools and his dedication to the good and the beautiful. This year has taken a dark and ominous turn. We've seen the loss of amazing teachers and the loss of a headmaster that was near and dear to our hearts, only to be replaced by someone who has proven herself unqualified for the position through her previous work history and through her current position in a lawsuit that, despite a poorly composed FAQ to the contrary, includes very damning evidence against her and not just that school's administration in general. This happened along with the hiring of her daughter, of whom we have no substantial credentials, and a plethora of bad decisions broadcast on her social media and through her person in the form of inappropriate communication with high school students. My family will not sit idly by while this school is run into the ground by someone who clearly does not care for human beings or for the good and the beautiful as this school so consistently purports. There is something untoward going on, and if the board does not step in and deal with it, there will not only be a mass exodus of students, but a responsibility of the community to dig deeper and be more vocal about what has happened here, so as to prevent it elsewhere. Earlier in this session, he totally lied and said no one's going through the right concern protocol, and we are. We want the school to thrive and for our children to be happy and healthy. We wish the best. If our issues are not attended to and the corruption is not addressed, we'll take our children elsewhere, as will many other families. We're requesting that the board fire Ascent Classical Academy CMO, remove the interim headmaster, fire all employees that came from Bonnie Cone, except for the kindergarten teacher, rehire Mr. Mullins and Ms. Belcher if they wish to return, and allow them the financial stability to fill the open teacher and teacher aide positions, and to run the school with advisement from the board, but not with an iron fist that strangulates it to death.
Thank you. Our next comment is James Williams.
Hello, could you hear me?
Williams? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hi, this is James Williams. I have 3 children at Ascent in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. My wife and I, we've been with the school since its inception last year. I want to be absolutely clear. My grievance is with the board, specifically Mr. Shuler, both, because the board has removed Mr. Mullins and Miss Belcher and has acted recklessly in appointing Miss Monette as interim headmaster. I'm very disappointed in the direction that the board has taken this academy, which had so much promise of a classical education so close to us, which is near and dear to my heart. The only reason my wife and I kept our children in Ascent last year and this year is because of our confidence in Mr. Mullins' ability to lead and hire. And I'm very disappointed that he's been let go. It's damning that teachers are quitting. The CMO is mired in allegations of misconduct and scandal, and that unqualified administrators and teachers are being hired. Mr. Mike Sinclair, if you're still listening, I urge you to take a close look at the conduct of the CMO. ACA is attempting to rapidly expand across South Carolina and North Carolina in what appears to be a profit-driven initiative. If the Rock Hill campus is to be used as an example for a new breed of charter schools in South Carolina, then your vision of school choice and the expansion of charter schools across South Carolina will be destroyed before it can take flight. We've been mired in instability, incompetence, and now scandal. I can't wrap my head around the behavior other than it's a deliberate attempt to destroy the school. Speaking to the school board, I suspect you will be facing a mass exodus of children and of qualified staff, and there may not be a school left for you to govern next week. Unless there's a rapid and immediate change, many families will be withdrawing their children, including my wife and I. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Our next speaker, Colin Pinkler. Mr. Pinkler, go ahead. No. Mr. Pinkler, it looks like you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself? Mr. Pinkler, you're still on mute. Can you unmute, please? All right, one more time. Mr. Sinclair, if you can unmute yourself, please. All right, we'll go to our next speaker, Katie Jones. Ms. Jones, if you can raise your hand, please. Ms. Jones?
Hi, could you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic.
Right.
Good afternoon. I have 4 children enrolled in your school, 2 upper school, 2 lower school. I also have a rising student that we're hoping can join kindergarten next year. We were here last year. We are, my husband and I and my upper school students, currently deeply discouraged and disappointed by the recent changes that have been made to leadership, campus leadership, as of yesterday. I had a different statement actually prepared, but I want to address the executive director's comments regarding parent concerns, specifically that parents are promoting negativity and perhaps even overreacting regarding the serious allegations that have been brought against Bonnie Cone leadership, of which the current interim headmaster of our school was director at the time. And again, I would like to echo other parents and encourage this board to go out and to read that document, to read those allegations, and to decide if you, as parents, would want your children in an environment with a person with these allegations. We now have serious concerns about the safety of our children, particularly our very impressionable upperclassmen who are at a very critical age in being in this school. Pardon me. Are they going to be safe in school? Are there concerns? If they have concerns, are those concerns going to be met? If they have issues, are they going to be able to go to the interim headmaster with those issues? And are those issues going to be taken seriously? This is a concern that I have. And again, I'm very disappointed in the executive director's comments and his accusations toward parents on this call. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Our next comment of Lisa Masadi. Ms. Masadi, go ahead.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good afternoon. If you're keeping count, I think you'll see that there's a substantial number of children reflected in this call. I have a 6th and 8th grade student, both who started last year. My story is similar to those you've already heard. My main concern today, though, is that ACA as a service provider is not doing a good job. That this has continued for 2 years now is in part due to the failure to include parent representatives in decision making and their lack of trust to partner with parents in knowing what's best for our children. I believe ACA as an organization's strength lies in the product they have developed to help classical charter schools establish within the public realm from a purely paperwork perspective. ACA is a product seller, but not a service provider. Their product was sold to South Carolina, and now that services are needed to support the school, their involvement is no longer needed, as they are not providing the services as outlined in the charter application as the education services provider or charter management organization, depending on what you are reading in that document, as it was not entirely consistent. As such, I feel strongly that they need removal from that contracted relationship, and another tried and proven capable service provider needs to be contracted on behalf of our school. In the interim, it is my opinion that the headmaster, Mr. Mullins, needs reinstated if he is willing to accept that role, and the authority and responsibilities outlined in the charter application need to be granted to him, including but not limited to staff and teacher hiring. While this is not an exhaustive list of my concerns, I believe that fixing this may help resolve some of the other issues and help save a school that in theory sounds good, but in practice has been mismanaged and allowed the end user, our students, to be victims in bad business decisions that have real consequences for those who have to this point been given little to no voice in the lives of our own children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there's anybody we've called previously who wasn't able to leave a comment, please raise your hand. We have Mr. Binkler. I'm going to try to give you another shot here.
All right, is the unmute working now?
Yes, sir, you're good.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the time. I would like to first echo the comments that have been previously made about Mr. Mullins, but my primary concern is that my kindergarten son under Ms. Belcher has been thriving. And I am wondering just why the lack of transparency regarding removal of a teacher that, from a parent's perspective, by all accounts, has been doing a fabulous job. With that being the case, I am requesting that the board and any responsible are going to be fully transparent with the parents of the school regarding the decisions that have been made and make very specific commentary regarding the plans moving forward that are going to be in the best interest of our children. I think that our personal choice to go to Ascent Classical was rooted in the promise, not just of educational excellence, but in a virtue-based education. And to maintain the integrity of those virtues, I think the board or whoever responsible owes the parents the explanation of how these decisions were made with those virtues at the core. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Again, if you have signed up for public comment and have not had a chance to speak yet, we probably went by you or weren't able to talk, please raise your hand. Got Ms. Golteros?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, there.
Thank you so much. I apologize for the technical difficulties. My name is Sarah Gualteros, and I have a unique perspective as both a parent of a kindergarten student and a former teacher of Ascent, having just left this week. When my husband and I enrolled our daughter in February of this year, we were overjoyed for the coming year, hearing Mr. Mullins speak on the mission and the goal of the classical classroom at Ascent. I accepted a job in July as an upper school teacher after going through 2.5 weeks of teacher training with an incredible staff and Mr. Mullins. I was on fire to teach in an excellent school with top-notch teachers and incredible administration. Slowly, as the year began, cracks formed due directly to the CMO's leadership. As teachers began leaving, the positions were not filled and were covered internally, whether by other teachers, substitutes, or administrators, depending on the day. Personally, every other day, I would go from 7:15 to 3 p.m. because I was covering other classes without break. At first, this was okay. I looked at leadership team who was working just as hard or even harder to help cover and provide excellent instruction. Over many weeks, it became clear nothing would change despite the hard work of all on campus. When I voiced that I had another offer and was considering taking it, I met with HR. I voiced these concerns, to which it was confirmed that campus leadership on campus was no longer in charge of hiring. During this conversation, I brought up my concerns about Mrs. Mognet and the federal lawsuit she is named in. I was told it was no big deal. As a parent, I don't feel comfortable with my daughter in the same building as an individual who would cover up any issues of any nature in a school or a professional setting. I was told by HR, every administrator is part of a lawsuit. Even considering this, Mrs. Mognet's is not resolved. Why would we have a staff member who is named as a key figure in a pending federal lawsuit working at our school? I left Ascent because I don't see a future anymore under the leadership of this current CMO. Under Mr. Mullins, the teachers he hired, and these families, this school has the ability for classical greatness. I was looking forward to working here for many years and sending my other two children eventually. I was willing to stay and endure unsatisfactory conditions, knowing it would be temporary, but it wasn't. Not only is there concerns with HR and the CMO's hiring choices, but also with their inability to take responsibility. Nothing seems to be their fault. Whether that be lack of school security, the lack of teachers being hired, or even the failure of the athletic program, there is no accountability taken. This cowardice does not bode well for the future of the school. I urge you to sever ties with Derec Shuler and Jennifer Mognet. I beg the board to meet with the parents without the Shuler family present. Thank you for your time.
Have Mike Sinclair. I know I think we accommodated your instruction to the board earlier. Feel free to raise your hand if you want to make an additional comment. Mr. Sinclair?
Yeah, I guess, and I appreciate Mr. Dillon giving me time to speak earlier. That was what my request was. But I do request that the board reach out to me and to our staff to make sure that we discuss some of the election processes that were provided earlier. And we can do that at a separate non-public meeting time. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Great. At this time, we've gone, that completes everybody's time for public comment. If you, I guess we've given everybody asked to raise their hand. Mr. Chair, that concludes public comment for today.
Thank you, Mr. Shuler. So the next item is on the agenda is adjournment. So motion to adjourn today's meeting of Ascent Classical Academy, South Carolina.
So moved, Dennis Getter.
Second, Michael Murphy.
Okay, Mark Shuler.
Yes.
Michael Murphy.
Yes.
Dennis Getter.
Yes.
Caleb Greene.
Yes.
Brendan Kelley.
Yes.
And Mark Dillon. Yes. Thank you very much, everyone, for your persistence and patience. And the meeting is adjourned.